Hey everybody, welcome to part 3 of trying to finish the painting from Darby Creek. And I wanted to let you guys know it was like also really hot out there, so I had to reapply in here a lot of the colors because it did dry out a lot of the colors, as you guys probably noticed. And thank goodness I had taken pictures. Okay, now that they're done demonetizing me at the beginning of my video for the disclaimer, I had 100% permission from the Labor family to be at their property to do this painting. Yes, 100% permission to be at their property to do this painting. For Christ's sake, I go down there and I go fishing. Or I watch my friends fish. Actually, I watch my friends. I have caught a catfish down there before. Catch and release. But for Christ's sake, stop demonetizing me, freaking morons on YouTube. I had permission to do this at their property. So, back to doing the painting. And now, you know I have permission. And you know I'm working from a picture today since I was heavily demonetized the other day, which made it really hard for me to do this, hard for me to focus. So I will work from the photograph, the picture that I took, which has almost the same colors, which I will go ahead and add in some of those colors anyway to finish up this part. It doesn't have the same sky, so that doesn't matter. I did the sky that was there the day that I was there. This is the sky that was there the day I was there, which is fine. That was the wispy clouds that was there, so we will go with those clouds. So, like I said, I will be working with those colors that were there. Now, I know I can share this somehow with my other social media, so I'm going to quickly do this before we get started with this painting. And there we go. And I can also do this on another social media that I have. Oops. Gotta be careful doing that. Yeah. Okay, now that we're back. Okay, we're back. So, I don't know what it is with the other social media. When you, alright, I'll just say Twitter. When you tweet, it cuts you off from this and then you have to reconnect. It's weird. But anyway, so I just sent that link on over. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and darken this in from the colors on the picture. I have both of these devices plugged in, and since my friend isn't here, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that down. So I could probably just pull this over. That leaning up against my Exorcist movies. I have the full collection. Yay for me. I love creepy content. Don't ask me why. I've always loved it. People have always tried to scare me since I was a little girl to like be scared forever. I don't know why. People always tried to like scare me literally to death until I would die, but that just never happened. You're creepy, scary, mean people. Hey, I'm still here to teach you lovely, lovely things. So anyway, working from this picture, and since I can pull it up to where I can work back into the marsh area here, to darken this in a bit where it really actually needed to be. And I will tell you, I took the sap green in a little black. This is what I'm working with right here. The sap green and black, because I needed to darken in the marsh area right in here. So we do have like little bushy areas, the sap green and the black. And some of this will pull forward, some of this will distance. Depends on like, okay, when I do that here, and then, you know, like watch, because like I'll pull this up here, because that's where I have it, and then I have it on my brush, and then like when I have that here, and this is where it'll be more dark, because that's where it is here, and then we have that here, and I'm doing it a little lighter, and because it's a dark color, because there is some of that darker color in the marshy area. And trust me, I've been there. I know that these colors are in there. And there really is that fallen tree. There really is that fallen tree in there. And it's like when you go there, it's like a wondrous like thing to see. And I was there on high tide both times. So it's like you don't really get to see the plant life that's under this water line right here. Didn't get to see it that day, but there is some plant life there. Trust me, my friends, there is actually some plant life there. And then you can actually take some of this and just like pull it down, and you see that effect it just gives it with the black and the green. It just gives it this effect with the marshy area, and that those effects are actually in there, and that's why I can do that. It's just because I know that effect is actually there. That is actually there. And then you just take the brush and you're looking at the thing and you're like, wow, okay, well, I gotta do this next, because that's actually right there where the little bushy parts are. And then wash the brush. This is like my friend Rocco's favorite part that I do. And then I set the towel part different around it, and then just beat the devil out of it. And then that really does, I'm going to tell you guys, that really and seriously does dry your brush. I mean, you could take your towel, make sure that it does actually dry your brush around the handle better, and this part of the bristle, but that seriously does dry your brush. See, the no color came off on my hand. That dries your brush. Nothing came off, and I can just sit that right here. I can sit it right here. Nothing's gonna come off on me. And then I can take my favorite brush, my paint. My favorite brush, I want to go back in, darken in with like burnt umber, take back in where like that sap green and the black is, a little bit more of that black in there. Wet the brush again. Now, like I was saying earlier, I was saying this on my other social media. You can actually, since I took the college course for this, for water paints, you can actually take a wet brush, a wet paint, onto a dry canvas, and this is true, you can do this. And I know everybody's watched Bob Ross and his techniques and like, oh my gosh, you can't do that, you're really gonna screw it up. And this is what you do with these effects. This is how you really get your tree to like, wow, look what just happened there. Look what just happened there. You really got that shade effect to come back out. Like, I'm so used to the Asian technique of the calligraphy. If you have to hold your brush a certain way. Like, look what you just did. You added that shade back into Clyde over here. in the shade that actually needed to be right there in the first place. Because there's actually a tree that leans over here. It really is. And then I needed to make the falling tree effect better right there. And I wanted to show you guys that. And this tree right here is actually really fat. So a lot of these little things that are actually in here, I wanted to really show you guys that today. Since I got heavily demonetized the other day, which was ridiculous that they did that to me. I mean, oh my gosh, the things that they put up or let get put up. Like I'm teaching you guys this. It's a good skill to learn. It's something like if you have a bad day, you can just like go home and relax with the painting and you know, hey, everything in your day is all of a sudden turned out a little better. Because like you created something that you can be proud of in your day. You can say, hey, look what I did. And it made my day better. Like, it doesn't matter what happened in your day. This made your day better. This made your day better. You know that song, I Had a Bad Day? Yeah, I've listened to that song too. These look like they're distant, just right up in here, just distant because, you know, they're really distant. Right up in here, they're distant. It's like they don't have to look perfect because they're right off in the distance, right off in the back, just in the distance. And the thing about the marshland area is you have that little bit of land. This is like right here. And I'm looking at the picture and I'm like realizing, okay, yeah, I gotta put that piece of land like right here. And you can scrub that with this brush. You can just like scrub that little piece of land that belongs right here. And because you have that burnt umber right on your brush. Just take that burnt umber and you scrub that land right into it. Now when you have swampland is basically like browns and greens. It's not like our little pleasant, you know, urban areas. No, turtles and all that do not live in your urban areas. No, they do not. They live in the marsh. They live in the marsh. I've seen turtles float along on logs before. Oh my gosh, the things I've seen when I've gone down to Darby Creek. The amazing like wildlife that you see just interact with people down there. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna take this dry brush right here, right? 2 hairs and a scare, my friends. 2 hairs and a scare right here, and blend this 2 hairs and a scare. Just right there, just blend it. 2 hairs and a scare. I'm just gonna blend it. Just lift that a little, and you can also take it that way if you like. And like you have that little bit right there, because there's a little bit of like light effect right here anyway in the picture. And just beat that brush dry. It's only just taking the paint off. All it's doing is just taking the paint off. Just wash that other brush. Like I said, you know, working with acrylics, we don't see how clean that came. Working with acrylics, you don't have to work with the chemicals. That is absolutely something we don't have to do. We can go back in with that 1-inch brush. This is where we get a little wet. Like I said, we want the wet paint Okay, now we want to go back into those trees a little, and we want to take that sap green, take that off right here, take a little sap green, little yellow ochre. That yellow ochre was happy to get over there. Okay, with a little bit of Indian yellow. Put a little more Indian yellow over there. Right up that brush a little bit. I'm gonna looking back over here. No, we're only really gonna take like the edge of this, and we're gonna come back over to this tree right here because I really kind of want to separate this. This is something I didn't get to do last time before they cut me off. I did not get to separate this tree from the other trees before they cut me off. And that really irritated me. I did not get to separate Bob Ross the tree from the other trees. That was very irritating. It's like, never do that to an artist. There you see Bob Ross the tree right there. See that? Isn't Bob there? He's a cool tree. He just chills with the rest of the guys. Just chills with the rest. We could take that same color over here. I'll see this guy, he just chills in the sun. Don't add too much to it. If you do, you can always go back and add a little more green to it. Don't lose all your dark. I know I'm gonna sound like Bob Ross when I do these. Sorry about that when I do. But never lose. And you can make these look a little separated too. I mean, there is some of this that looks a little separated. Some of this looks a little forward. And there's a reason why part of this looks a little forward is there is actually a branch here that is on the other side because it is from a tree that's on this side of the creek. There really is. There really is. There's actually a branch here that's on this side of the creek, and we will be adding that in. Like, huh? Yeah, they're actually gonna clean this brush again. And sometimes I'll like lean down, dry up the area where I like cleaned my brushes. Like beat the devil out of them. Sometimes you gotta dry that little area. Get back in. Get a little more sap green on there. Just a little more sap green, maybe a little flat. Sap green, black. A little yellow ochre to it. So I'm thinking, okay. There were like some little trees right along in here. It needed some texture. They needed that texture. Okay, these areas needed that texture. Okay, you know what I mean? These areas needed that texture. Now you see there's a reason why I load this brush the way I do. Because in marshy areas, now I've lived in different areas, and I can tell you something, like when I lived in Virginia, in Norfolk to be exact, Norfolk, Virginia has like a few swampy areas itself. A lot of people think, huh? Yeah, Norfolk has a few swampy areas itself. A lot of people wouldn't think about that, but actually, yeah, Norfolk, Virginia has a few swampy areas. Not too many, but a few. And actually, a couple of the kids that I babysat, they were related, and you're gonna get a kick out of this one. They were related to the Hatfields and McCoys. There's some history for you. I babysat kids that were related to the Hatfields and McCoys. Yeah, how about that for some history? Wow. I was like, you're related to who? The Hatfields and McCoys. I'm like, wow. I'm like, isn't that something? I'm like, that's just cool. And their parents are like, why? And I'm like, I only read about that in history, about the Hatfields and McCoys. Now, there is this bushy area right here in the marsh that comes around these trees. So that's not something that I'm just pretending is there. There actually is a bush right here. There's this big old bush comes up around, and then there's another one right here by these trees. It's kind of faded up a bit. And I'll show you guys that with the picture, like after we're completely done, and then you can add a little more of that sap green because there's a little sap green up in there. So like I said, we don't want to lose all of our dark. It has a little bit of the highlight. It doesn't have too much highlight. So that's just about enough for this part, except for maybe that tree. Except for maybe that tree. I might add a little into that tree because it looks like I skipped a part on it. And then we'll move on to the rest of the water. And we need a little bit of the brown tones, that sap green. So we'll take a little burnt sienna and a little burnt umber, some sap green. I know you guys are like, what? But trust me, marsh water up in Darby Creek is green. My friends, it's green. Trust me, it's green. Take a little bit of that candy yellow up in it. A little bit more of that sap green. I've got more paint left. I'm not really worried about it. Load that on your brush. Get your brush a little more wet. Now, there's a reason why I'm getting the brush a little more wet. Oh, my nose itches today. I have really bad allergies today. I don't know what it is. Its season's totally changing. And just take that across. Now, I am not kidding you on the color. I am seriously not kidding you on the color of the water in Darby Creek. Seriously not kidding you. If you just saw a hair on there, don't worry about that. That was actually my hair. Sorry about that. That was actually my hair. I did that the last time. And said sorry about that. That was actually my hair. It really was that's my hair. A little bit of that Indian yellow in there. White. Let's add a little white in there. Lighten it out a little. brush wet again. Now the only reason we're doing that part for the water is we're getting a certain tone into it. Now I'm not too worried about it over here because we are going to put that dock in. Like I said, you want to get like that greenish brown tone to it because that is what color Darby Creek is. Darby Creek is not blue. Darby Creek actually is brownish green. And it has been for a very long time. Now, I could do this with a bigger brush. Yes, I could. But we have a lot of other things to put in here. So I'm not too worried about using a bigger brush at the moment. Like I said, we're leaving what looks like water movement in this because water moves. It's the element of physics. Water has movement. Without the element of physics, water would not have movement. Oh yeah, you'll have to excuse the noisy neighbor again. Again. It's like he seems to time that perfectly. The moment I go to do a video. Okay, well, I'm going to say that this is about the color of the water that is in that picture. Just about. So it's kind of like combining the color of two different days, which is about perfect, to tell you the truth. To tell you the truth, it's kind of cool to be able to blend two different days in one picture. So what I'm going to do is a little more movement here. Like I said, you could take a wet brush on a dry canvas. Wet brush, dry canvas, and you have that canvas back. You absolutely have your canvas back to work with. Don't ever let anybody tell you. And I'm going to tell you, this is why they told me I could not go to any professional art institution because they told me I already mastered it. Well, give me my art degree, thank you. Because I already know what to do. Get your brush wet, take it across that canvas. See where I accidentally put that white in right here too much? Scrub it. Take it back. Take it back. Because you know what? We're going to be putting something over that anyway. So I'm actually not worried about it because there's going to be a white boat over there. So just take your brush across if you, and look, look, look. See the movement right here in the water, and if you can't really see that, let me adjust my my camera angle on that. Look, movement in the water right here. You see that? And so that actually makes it kind of perfect because you kind of have like what looks like all this perfect movement in the water. But I don't take my brush across this way and then across that way. No. Forget all that. Forget it. Forget it. We have made our own water movement. We have taken the elements of everything we've learned and tossed it out the window. Toss it out the window. Because this is a different way of learning your elements. Let's see if I can get that angle better. There we go. There we go. Let me get a drink. No, it's not alcohol, I promise you guys that. I'm not a drinker. You know what? I've always had people try to offer me, like, would you like a drink of, you know what? I tried to turn down champagne one year. they kept insisting. I'm like, all right, one. That's it, just one. I'm not a drinker either. I'm not. Oh, by the way, yes, that is still back there. That is like my little seascape thing, and that's still for sale. My other mountain ones are right here. Those are still for sale. My oh, how can I say it? It's my abstract that I did when a creepy thing happened in the background while I was painting that one. So you can go to that video of when I was painting this one, the abstract of when I was painting this one, and you watch in the timestamp of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 27 seconds, you will actually see a painting in the background fall over. And I didn't know that a painting in the background fell over. Now you will think that I saw a painting fall over when in fact, when I look over, I still see it sitting up. Now later on in the video, I actually see it face down. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We won't go into how haunted things are. Anyway. Is your house haunted? Leave it in the comments below. That's kind of funny. Anyway. Hey, Halloween's coming up. What do you brew? You know, instead of what do you do, what do you brew? Oh, I'm always having to loosen up this filbert. This is a larger filbert. People say, oh, that's not a filbert. Well, brushes have different shapes. And a filbert is more of a square, like a little brick. And filberts come in different sizes. Okay. And I'm trying to think, what do I want to paint next? What do I want to paint next? What is my next move here in this painting? Now I've done this part. I'm trying to think, what is my next move in this painting? Now there won't be much of like this part of the dock because of the boats that are there. Now I know that when I go to do this part, you guys will be like, what is the stuff that is there? So it's like, I actually need to take some of this white. Sometimes I feel like I'm running out of, you know, I do plan on upgrading to like a real like painting thing. So I'm not having to deal with this one. So you guys be like, what? Why are you always using that? Why don't you have a real one like Bob Ross? Because I can't afford it at the moment, or I would. And do I want people to buy it for me? Absolutely not. Do not do that. I like to afford things on my own. I try to be very independent. Pay my own bills. Be my own person. And you know what? I think that's why I also do not have a Patreon. I do not have a Patreon. Although I know a lot of YouTube channels have Patreon, and I understand why, because they get heavily demonetized too, and I don't have a Patreon. I absolutely don't. Okay, so I'm looking at the dock area that I need to put in, and you guys guys are going to be like, what part of the dock area? Well, you guys get to see it when I get to put it in. And this is why I needed this color that I just created on my brush. And so it won't be much like in one part, but there will be in the other. Trying to do the math for this. Now you're like, what? Math? Math? Yes, I'm sorry, my friends, but artwork is math. Sorry to break that to you, but artwork is math. In case you didn't know that, this is math. I am doing math right in front of you. Oh my gosh. Yes, every angle, curve, circle, corner, and everything else that I do right in front of you is math. Look at the math I just did. I just did math. I know I said I would do this tree and then I didn't do it. It's not really going to matter in a moment. I almost forgot a flagpole has to go there. Then some bird houses and some other stuff, so don't mind that. Because a boat has to go here. Yes, a boat. A boat. Which, by the way, is called the Queen. This boat is called the Queen. Well, they call it the Queen. That's its nickname. That is this boat's nickname. Absolutely is what this boat's nickname is. It is the Queen. This boat has been through so many things and has sunk. And they have brought this boat back up so many times. And it can sink so many times and they bring it back up. And the Queen still keeps on floating. This is their go-to boat. Don't ask me why the Queen keeps on floating, but she just keeps on floating. She just keeps on. I have no idea why. It's just that boat that just, it's the boat that won't give up. I have no idea why. Hey. It's their go-to when their other boats give up. Even when the Queen gives up, the other boats haul her in. How about that? When the Queen gives up, the other boats haul her in. So this is just the Queen's undercoat. Actually, this is almost the color of her undercoat anyway. Say right about there. Yeah, right about there. Yeah, that would be about right. Water movement. Queen. There's other colors in her because she's kind of camouflage, and I'll show you guys that. But to put in boats, to put in different boats is so interesting to do. Like you see where I put in like the part for the Queen. And then when we go to finish up this whole thing, you guys are going to be like, wow. And if I don't get to put in John and I get to put in Rocco, like maybe I could put in John like out here on the dock or sitting on the boat or something. You know what though? Maybe I will put John on one of the boats. Or standing out here, or sitting on the dock, or standing out here with my friend, Put Irene in here because Irene has to be in here. She's part of the creek. She absolutely is. Irene, that is the sweetest dog. Like I said before, she was a rescue dog. People in Philadelphia were using her for breeding, and they were really damaging the poor sweet thing. And it was so horrible, but she is a sweet dog. Sweet dog. She just is. She'll bark at you when you catch fish, though. That's for sure. But that's only because she wants to catch the fish with you. Then she wants to try to bite your fish. That's what she wants to do. She wants to bite your fish. Okay, so there's the boat motor. And now down here, and this is what you do when your boat is not going to be used. You literally, and I'll show you that part like when we switch brushes in a moment, which is what I'm going to do now. You literally pull your boat motor out of the water. You don't leave your motor in the water. You're going to corrode the hell out of that if you do that. Literally pull it out of the water, or that makes you into a dipshit. Literally. And that's not figuratively speaking. That's literally speaking. If you do not pull that out of water, you are a dipshit. Remember, I'm working from a real stupid game. You can literally corrode your boat motor. Literally. That's not figuratively speaking. Literally speaking. We'll corrode the crap out of it. Okay. Give that a little highlight here and there so that you can see that there are actually little propellers on this motor, because there are. That's what makes this thing go in the water. It actually does. I'll pull up some more of this because I got to paint the part where the steering column is, because that really is there on the Queen. It is right here on the Queen. You got the part that comes out like this, and it goes down like that. So there's going to be something else right here, but it goes down like that. And that part is like that. That's the side rails. My hand shake a little, I'm sorry. I haven't had my second dose into my seizure meds today. Okay. Now while that paint dries, we'll put that nose part there and part that comes up like that. Sheep are out. Boats do have curves, just like cars. Boats do have curves. Yes, they do. Okay, now there is also a second one on the other side of it. Well, actually two. There's another one on the other side of the queen, on the other side of the dock. But we have to expand the dock out a little bit. Little bit. So we got to take a little bit more of that burnt umber and mix it with the white. Just a little bit. We just slightly go like that. You got to make your planks. Got to be all planky. Okay. Yep, you do. And I will put in the bench that's right here. There actually is a bench on their dock. And since I have this brush in my hand, have it come up right about here, I might as well go ahead and you guys are what in the world are you doing? There is a railing here. Okay. There is a railing right here. Now this railing actually comes up. Now there's two parts to this. There is actually two parts to this. And this is actually where the flagpole comes in. Flagpole's actually right here. Huh? Flagpole's actually right here. And my friend's standing on the other side of me. Yes, back here. He's standing right on the other side. I keep that straight. Standing on the other side of that flagpole. So like, why is it going into the water? There's a reason for that. Actually, on a post. It's a good flagpole. It's a sturdy one. This flagpole actually holds the U.S. flag and a Marine flag, because my friend's second cousin is a Marine. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She's a Marine. She is. Let me just bring that up. Now, the hand railing here actually a lot thicker than the other hand railing, and that's probably why I thought, wait a minute, I can make that other hand railing a lot thicker than that hand railing, because this hand railing here is actually a lot thicker than this hand railing here. It is. You would probably think that I would make them proportioned equally, and actually I can't, because they're not equally proportioned, I should say. They're not equally proportioned. So actually I cannot do that. So I will apologize ahead of time if you hear any yelling from my neighbor, because it's like timing from like dimensions of another reality. That I just absolutely don't want to hear. especially when I'm doing a video. And I don't want to have to do part 4. Especially since I'm coming along on this quite nicely, don't you guys think? I have the queen in there. I have the dock going. I have the flagpole started. Pretty soon I'll be getting other things in there. And I have to ask a friend's opinion. What do you think so far? I have the queen in there. Okay. He's going to go upstairs and actually start our dinner. Please remind the neighbor that there's a video going on. Thank you. He's going to remind him. Anyway, there's also this orange little rusty box on this one dog, but we'll get to that after a while. Also, the labor family, once I get to finishing this part, and let me get the other boat painted in there. They have some really cool boats on their dog. They really do. Get the queen headlight. Do that. She does. She has her proper lights and stuff on her. She's all fitted proper. With her proper, her tags and everything. Anyway, the other boat is right here on the other side. Bigger than the queen, too. Bigger than the queen. Whoa. Bigger than the queen. Oh, yeah. Bigger than the queen. Drop my paint rig. That's okay. I'll pick it up. That's okay. That paint rig can sit right there. Let's pick up some more white. We only got plenty of this titanium white. Glad I have it though, because that other boat's almost the titanium white color. Really is. It's almost that titanium white. Beautiful boat. I've been out on this other boat before. I've been on a few of the labor boats. You know what? I'm starting to think maybe on last year on Labor Day, maybe this is the boat that I was out on. Remember those blue seats? Oh, my hand is a bit wobbly, so I have to straighten that line. Sorry about that, guys. Let me straighten that line. Straighten that. This actually comes a little bit, and it is a little higher than this anyway, so I needed to bring that line up. Yeah. And there's actually going to be some blue in this boat because it's got this blue canopy over the front area where the driver sits. So it's, like I said, it's a beautiful boat. It really is. The labor family has just beautiful boats. A beautiful area down there. That family's been down there for generations, just generations. So it's like I'm thinking about doing a portrait of their grandma, their auntie, and I'll tell you what, though, that's why I did this. Beautiful red cardinal. That was their auntie's favorite bird. It's this red cardinal, her favorite bird. So their Uncle John asked me to do some painting down there for him on this blue door, and painted him a nice eagle and flight. First thing I painted for him, because he was telling me about his wife. So the first thing I painted for him was a cardinal on that door. He said, I thought you were going to paint the eagle. And I'm like, no, it was more important what your wife liked. I'm like, your wife was more important than doing that eagle first. I'm like, so I wanted to make you happy by putting your wife's memory on that door. And that sweet little old man started breaking out in tears. And so did I. But, sweet little old man started breaking out in tears. And boy, he was so happy. Just so happy. Make old people happy like that. That just makes your day. Make an elder happy. Make their day. Never hurts. Make an elder that, just best person in the world that you ever knew. Make their day. Especially if they take time out of their day to do something good for other people, or that they've always treated other people with respect, and go out of your way to do something for them. Especially if you know that they've done that for others most of their life. I don't ever expect that when I'm old, but hey, that would be nice. But hey. I will always be me. Okay, now I'm going to add in some of the blue that's in this boat here, because there's the windows actually reflect a little blue on them, which I know is a little odd, but you know why they do that? It's because of the seats. The seats that sit down here actually reflect the windows as blue, so I'll add a little bit of the white into that to help put some more definition in to the windows. For this particular boat. I guess a labor family, they just, wow, the boats they have. Just wow. Beautiful, just beautiful boats. Just absolutely beautiful. You want good fishermen to hang around with? That's the family. That's the family. You want good hunters to hang around with? Yeah, you hang around Native Americans and you hang around them, but I won't tell you what vegan means in Native American. That might offend people. I don't want to offend nobody. So. Well, that didn't need to be broadcasted, but sorry you guys had to hear that. Sorry you guys had to hear my neighbors.
I know you're fine. We got the.
Excuse me. Okay. Anyway, now that we're back to the other boat, let me add in a little extra white into this because that blue went to where I didn't want because I'm a little shaky. I may have to add a little more titanium white into the palette before we go back to the queen and add in the yellow tones that we want. And because I have to add in certain things to separate these two boats, and then I will be adding in, and I'll show you guys this. Let me show you. Okay, look, this is the queen right here. Okay, she's in camouflage, and that's the other boat right here. Okay, now I'm trying to get these two boats as close enough as possible to how I need these to be in the marshy land areas, and it's like I have to do that. And then if you like see that brim of a hat right there, that's the sweetest old guy possible. His name is John. Then there's his son John, and then his grandson John, which we call John John. And then there's John John's brand new little baby that we call Little John John. Well, that's his nickname for me. But I nickname people, so I call him Little John John. Because his daddy's nickname is John John. It makes sense. Well, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. So, okay. Let me go in with that blue, back in with some white. Make that canopy area. And yes, I will be making the poles that go with that. So don't worry about that. I will be making those. And now you know, like, my tablet has to sit over there because the thing that holds my tablet is sitting over here holding this. And, yeah, pretty much. Pretty darn much. So, canopy on, and I'm trying to do it as close as possible to the picture. Shut up. Maybe lighten up that color because it is a little faded in some spots. You know, the color's a bit faded, so we'll pick up that little bit of that light color and take it up over here. And that's exactly where the canopy is. And then it just lifts back up and comes right back down. Just right up over where the driver sits. That's exactly where the canopy is. And we'll just take that this way. Because we can always just pull that darker color right back into it and pull that in for a shade, because that's why I said we can keep the brush wet. Keep your brush wet. And taking that phthalo blue and just taking it and going like that, and just take it, and you know you have it just a little bit lighter but not too light, and you just make your shapes with it, your shades with it, and you can do all sorts of just stuff just by working with these, and you can just make the most wonderful things that you just never thought that you could do. And don't ever let anybody tell you can't do these. You can just do the most wonderful things. Just the most wonderful things with this. Working with phthalo blues, phthalo greens, just most wonderful things. And we can go back into that sap green, which I may actually have to put some more on my palette, which it looks like. Looks like that old sap green is still on there. Hey, maybe some of that old sap. You know what? It's kind of funny. That old sap green is still wet. Okay. Looks like the sap green is playing a joke on me. Sap green is still there. It's playing a trick on me. Okay. Well, the queen actually has the sap green color. And that's what we're going to go back into so that we can start to separate these. Is part of the queen has the sap green. So we're going to take the sap green on the queen. That's right. Just take it. Now there's a reason why I left a line between these two boats, and you'll figure that out in a moment. Because that was a little separation for a reason. There's an absolute reason why I did that. Absolutely. Now there's also a reason why I have to leave the part down here, because there's a black color that has to go underneath on the queen. The queen has different colors in her, but boy does she go. When she's out in the water, she goes. They actually have 4 boats that sit here, but you can never really see the one that sits here, even though it's there. It is actually there. It is actually there. It is indeed, my friends. So what we'll do, once my sap green is done playing games on me, so I'll go back into that sap green. Try to have a little fun with it now. Go back into that sap green. I swear to God, my neighbor eats more than I do. And yeah, I know that this is like brownish green, but we're taking it over that coat that we already put on there, and we're just making this a little bit darker. a little bit darker. And wash that brush. Clean it. Now, while we have that like that, let's take the smaller brush again, and we'll go ahead and paint in that black area on the queen, which is just right here. Just take that, and this is the separation point right in here. Now the queen, she actually wasn't like painted too dainty and froofy and frilly. Nope. And I'll show you guys. I'll show that to you guys. Because, you know, like, we actually have to do, you guys know, we have to do that in a moment. Oh, 1 inch. Why did I put my 1 inch over here? That is silly. Okay, we now have to take this and get that a little wet. Now make a reflection. We now have to make a reflection. And if it doesn't want to make a reflection, I'll make a reflection for it. Because that don't want to make a reflection. That just wants to make a wet mess. Which I'll correct. Anyway, it does want to make a reflection. There is a reflection right here in the paint, or in the actual photo. There is a reflection. And we are not making mistakes, we are making happy accidents. And like I said, sorry for my neighbor being loud during my video. I'm just going to go ahead and add this paint in here, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull it down. My neighbor's just irritating the shit out of me on purpose. Because my neighbor's a jerk. See what I mean? Just mix that right here. See, that's the nose of the boat right here. 2 hairs and a scare, my friends. He really did not need to be that noisy, and that was clearly unnecessary. Now, on to the pole colors for right here, because we don't want to make that look like it's just floating in the air. Am I right? Yeah, we don't want to make that look like it's just floating in the air. We'll just take this color over here on the side, a little bit of the black. Wash that. I'm sorry, my neighbor pisses me off. And I'm just going to say it. My neighbor pisses me off. And I'm not sorry to say that part. He does this unnecessarily on purpose. In fact, I'm sorry that my viewers had to hear him. I apologize for that. I know I shouldn't have to apologize all the fucking time. It's embarrassing. I have to constantly apologize. Okay, you see how I got that on there? And then my friend on his boat, like I said, he actually has. I'm going to paint this on here, my friends. I'm proud to paint something on here today. It needs to be done with fresh paint. Yeah, this needs to be done with fresh paint. It's the American flag. My friend sports the American flag on his boat. And if I'm going to do this painting proper, you're damn right I'm doing it proper. My friend sports the American flag on his boat. Unlike the NFL, that's full of pussies. and would know how to be patriotic if patriotism slapped them upside the head. Which it needs to. Because the NFL is full of pussies. And I stopped watching football last year because of half-white Colin Kaepernick. Okay, the reason I said this is like camouflage, because you know they're out here in the marshland, right? So they have like these all painted on here. So it kind of looks like they can be camouflaged. If they're out in the marsh, they can be camouflaged. Let's say if they're going duck hunting, but they're doing it by boat, right? They can be camouflaged. That's a good way to do it. That is a good way to do it. Duck hunting by boat. Yeah, let's see NFL go duck hunting. They couldn't do it. Pussies. Okay. Or that realistic color that's actually in the queen for the rest of it. Trim that's along here. In the front. And this is what I needed to separate the queen's front half. I'm sorry about my little whispery things to my friend, but yeah, I needed to have him get me something so I could take my second round and see her meds. I don't want you guys have to hear that, but hey, oh well. So how's the queen looking? Looking like the queen? How about the John John's boat? Thank you. Thank you for getting me some fruit. How about John John's boat? Even got the flag. Queen's there. Got the dock going a little bit. And some shade underneath it. So far I'm getting labor family approval. Since my friend Rocco here is a labor, it's getting labor family approval. And pretty soon here, I have to put on, let's see. Yay, fruit. That fruit or pink? Oh my gosh, I almost ate my pink. It looked like the color of fruit. Anyway, here in a little while I actually have to take my second dosage of one of my seizure meds, so I had to have something to eat. And fruit is the best way to go. So, yeah. So like I said, I got that in there. Now, what I haven't gotten in here yet is like this little pole here, which actually comes up right here. And that, because that's actually right here on the land, which would come up right here. And you would see like this blue right here, and that's actually the sky. So that actually depicts what's coming from the sky. So we don't actually have to worry about my little happy accident right here, because that's the reflection of the sky. So we actually don't have to worry about that. That was actually a happy accident. Right? Right. And the other day when I was saying grapes and Wawa tasted funny, today they actually taste correct. You know what it could be? The aroma of pineapple and cantaloupe. And the acidity off of that must have ate whatever bug sprays were on the fruit. That actually could be true. That actually could be true. Did you know, it's going to turn into our health talk, that the acid off of pineapple will eat bug spray? So it'll eat pesticide that is on your fruit. Lemon, lime, and orange will do the same. But lemon is the strongest out of them to do that. This is true. But, okay, my friends. What else do we want to do here? What else? Like I said, we have this little tree here. This has to go here. We also have this. We're branching out here, my friends. We're branching out. We have this branch that has to come out. Okay? We have this branch that has to come out. Oh, I have to plug it back in. Plug it in. Oh, I have to plug it back in. Why did he put the bag on it? Plug it back in. Okay. The heck. Okay. Okay, there we go. The other charger wasn't charging it good enough. Okay, so here we go. This is our next thing, and I also don't want to knock the fruit over. Okay. And also get this crap off my screen. So the next thing that I want to figure out, what do I want to do next into this? Because I know I have to finish up the queen and part of this part of the dock area here. But do I want to start doing any of the land, like the trees and stuff? Do I want to finish up the dock? You know what? Let's see what happens. Put that back over there and let's just see what happens. How about that? Let's just see what happens. It won't stand up now. I don't get it. It's just saying, hey, just get back into it. That's all. Just get back into it. Just get back into it. Just get back into it. Put a little more texture back into the queen. So yeah. Oh yes, there's that little rusty box that's on the dock area. Let's not forget that. There is this little rusty box that sits right here. And I mean, it looks rusty, right? And I'm not kidding you. Literally sits right here. Literally sits right here, kind of like sideways or something on this dock. I don't know how it's there like that. I have no idea how they got it like that. That it literally sits on the dock like that. A little light hits it, and I'm serious, a little light hits it on the top. Just a little light hits it like right on the top. Right there to the side. And there's this cool bench that literally is right. Oh, put her number on there. And there's this cool old bench that they literally have right here. This cool old bench that they literally have right here. That's really what separates these two boats. It's this old bench that sits right here. On this dock sits this bench. They just have kind of this cool dock that has like things that sit there, and it's just kind of cool how they just have this stuff there, and it doesn't crowd it, but it's kind of cool how it doesn't crowd everything. It just doesn't. It's just there, but it doesn't crowd everything. Put light back on the queen. Put light back on the front of the queen. Make sure the inside of the queen is a little gray. You don't really see the seats inside of the queen. You don't really. Just have her labels, the red label. Her white ones right here. And I can't really put the ones on this one because that would make no sense. It really wouldn't. It would make no sense. It would make no sense at all. And up here we actually have a life preserver actually hanging off this part. I know that's a little weird. Just like one of those ring ones. Oh, old time ones. But you know what though? They literally have a rope. There's a rope that's on there. They have a rope on there. It's on their dock. It goes through there, comes back up. It's kind of cool. Sorry for my neighbor being noisy again. And on this, it literally says, I gotta calm my hand before I can do this part. L, A, B, E, R. It says labor. And I just literally did that. Painted that right on there. It says labor. That's how you spell their last name. It's not traditional. No, no, sir, it is not. It's not traditional like you would spell, like if you were going into labor, that type of labor. It is not the traditional way to spell labor. Nope. So, actually, I'm going to move that device over here, which means I'm moving my brushes. And I'll just put my paint right there. And add a little bit more for umber into that white. We're going back into the dock area. Okay, and like I said, we have where the flagpole is. We have, actually, we really do. There's a, and this is actually darker, so I need that, the pole, so that you guys can get a good idea of what I was talking about. What goes down into the water, hold up that flagpole, is actually a big old post that goes down into the water and holds that up. And it also helps to hold up the dock. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, my friends. That helps to hold up the dock as well, so that you guys get a good understanding. There are things there that helps to hold up the dock, and also the flagpole that's there. So yes, most definitely, you guys understand that. So yes, this is all something real. This is something that is really at somebody's place of where they live, and you know, it's so cool to be able to like go to where somebody lives, and this is real. This is where they live, and it's something nice where you can go, and you don't have to, like, I don't know. It's just nice to go down there. Irene is down there. Sweetest dog, like I said. Just a sweet dog. Irene is a cool dog. John, he's pretty cool. That old dude, he's a pretty cool old dude. Pretty cool old dude. said, this part only comes to a certain point. And I have to remember like how many poles and stuff they have, how far out the other part of their dock comes before I like paint in other things. Because their dock comes out to a certain point. Then it just like cuts off. Because like my friend Rocco will be there at a certain point. And we gotta add in your darks and your lights. To make this make sense, you have to add in your darks and your lights. Absolutely. Darks and lights is what makes sense. That's what makes things actually balance in a painting. Darks and lights. Darks and lights. That is absolutely what makes things make sense. Being able to understand contrast. Being able to understand what makes contrast work. What makes contrast work? Absolutely. What makes that work? What makes things work? Even in reflection, what makes that work? Like right here, what made that work right there? Because you had to pull that down. You had to make that reflection. Even for the dot, you had to make that reflection into the water. You had to make that reflection into the water. For the mountain dock, you had to make the reflection. It's like what we did for the queen. We had to make the reflection. What reflection did we make over here? For this boat, we have, everything has a reaction. Science, my friends, science. For every action, there is a reaction. Point to science that this is as such. NASA found something new that they may not understand, but once I saw it, I realized what it was. But it's like, they'll only base it on theory and conjecture and may not be able to understand the whole thing and only base it in theory. And I was like, oh no, here we go with the theoreticals again. Why not base it on science? Fact. Let's get the facts out, people. Facts. Don't ask, I'm that nerd. I love science fact. Instead of, let's only base it on a fictional basis of theoreticals. I hate theoretical. I love applied. Applied is my basis of everything. I love applied. Applied physics is my favorite. I think that was even my favorite in high school and even in grade school. I love applied physics in grade school. There you go. Yeah, you know how much of a nerd I am. I loved applied physics in grade school. Yeah, you know, I'm that nerd. I applied physics in grade school. Yeah, actually I did. I loved applied physics when I was in grade school, and I would do applied physics. And people thought I was weird. I was the weird kid. I would do applied physics. Be like, no, you have to do it this way, otherwise it's not correct. Okay? What? What? No, if you don't do it this way, it's not correct. What is wrong with you? She'll be like, she's right. If you don't do it this way, it's not correct. How'd you know that? Because it's not correct. What is wrong with you people? That's why my math books were different. I was the weird kid with the different math books. Okay, so I am going to do a little bit of land over here. I may not be able to fit John in, but I will fit in some of those trees. And I will fit in my friend right here. Maybe I'll fit in John somewhere over here and have Irene barking at Rocket. Maybe he caught a fish. And I'll add in, because there is a little piece of the land, like right here, like in the painting. Why do I keep calling it a painting? In the picture, there actually is some land that comes up right here. I probably just got paint on my nose and I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. No, I don't. Actually, I don't care. There is a piece of land that comes up right here. And this is actually like a little retaining wall for their property, because they do get a little flooded, so they have like a little retaining wall. Clean this brush. Keep the devil out of it. Yeah, I will do part of that little boat that sits back here. And I'll put Rocco in right here with Irene standing here barking at him. The birdhouses, you know, the branch coming over. Put some highlights in here. It seems like my paint's dried out again. There should be no reason for that. It's not even hot in here. It's been like a refrigerator in here for me today. Maybe it's just menopause. Maybe this is my menopause. I don't know. For me, it's been like a refrigerator in this house. Green tones up in here. That's the colors that this is turned here and there. And then the light hits it. I'm really hoping that my neighbor does not yell down the steps, because that is going to be embarrassing. It's like I can just feel it. That feeling you get when you know your neighbor is going to embarrass you. Put a few more little highlights up in here, because there are highlights that actually sit there in that picture, even right up in here. Put a few more of those right up here, because they do actually hit Bob Ross the tree. Wash that brush again. I gotta go back in here and finish this up. Actually hope you guys are enjoying this painting today. And if you are, you can leave that in the comments below. Gotta get a little drink here. Like I said, you know, if I can find a place, you know, that you go to hang out with friends that are like family to you, and that you know that you can do a landscape painting of their property for them. And I know I've been sitting too long. That's why we're going to finish this up, because I have to stand up soon. My back is telling me about it. And I actually have my corset set looser today. And my back is telling me all about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take some of that burnt umber and the black. I'm going to mix those together right here. Just right here. We're going to do the one branch that comes out like right here. Okay? We're going to go ahead and do that. Try to set this back up so I can see it proper. Try to get this proper. Sorry about my arm. There we go. For now. And try to get that branch out here where I can get that right. So they actually have a few trees in a certain area here. Like there's, even if I do it a certain way, so they got this little fella that sits right about, yeah, you know what, we do that one. This little fella that just sits right about, I might have to get that brush a little wet again. This little fella that sits right about here. Yeah, they do. They got this little fella that sits right about here. He's a little crooked. This little crooked fella that sits right about here. Now some birds do actually sit up in this tree. And I can tell you this one for a fact. Some birds actually sit up in this little tree. And I've seen it. I've seen this. For a fact, I've seen this. Birds nest in this little tree. You can't get the paint to go one way, you go the other. No, Bob Ross would tell you that one. Oh yeah. That's how I learned. If you cannot get your paint to go one way, by gosh, you get your paintbrush to go the other way. And you can turn your brush until it works for you however you need it to. How about that? And that's actually how that tree looks. That is actually, my friends, how this little tree looks. It's got a little limb out here. It's all branching out all over here. Back over here, grab a little more paint. If your paint isn't sticking to your brush, get it wet. That's another thing Bob Ross would tell you. If your paint isn't sticking, get it wet. Well, I'll tell you, get it wet with water, because we're working with acrylic. And this is true, because we're working with acrylic, you get it wet with water. I have to get it wet with chemicals. Now, I'm always wondering, is that what took old Bob Ross away from us? Working with those chemicals with your paint, sir. And there's a little branch that comes up this way and a little stubby one right here. I'm trying to get that as close as possible to what it actually looks like. And you know what I can do while I have this here? Is the queen actually has like a few little like dark separation lines like right here. Let me put on there. Separate this out a little more. Scrub that in a bit. Scrub that in a bit. Tell you guys, queen's a good boat. Queen ain't a clean queen. She's a good queen. She's a good boat, that's for damn sure. Okay, right back up there. Her other branches, right up here. She's got a branch here. She's got another branch coming out up here. And then when we go to do this part, we'll go into it. Then there happens to be, and I'll do this, so we need this brush for this. There happens to be this fat tree, like right here before I have to go out this way. This is true. This is actually true. There's this fat dead tree. Don't ask me why. It's a fat half dead tree right here. There's this fat half dead tree right here, and nobody knows why this tree is still there. They're trying to figure out, why is this fat half dead tree still there? They have no idea why this fat half dead tree is still living on that property. It should not still be alive, but it's still there. In fact, I'll even paint in the growth that's coming out of it right here. There actually is a growth coming out of it right here. It's a mushroom. That's about where it would be. And I'm being serious, there is a mushroom right in it. It's about where Irene goes and does her thing. But there is this tree right here. And we do not know why that thing is still alive. Oh, but it's there. Oh, but it's there. Anyway, let's start branching out. As we would say, let's start branching out. Like I said, I really hope you guys are enjoying this video today. And I hope it brings your weekend a little something extra. Knowing that, you know, this really did come from a real place. And, you know, knowing that I have permission to do this for somebody, and that these people have like these memories forever. Like, oh my gosh, you just went over Clyde. Yeah, I did go over Clyde. I've got to bring this down here. Yeah, I went over Clyde. I admit it. Clyde wasn't gonna be fully exposed forever. Sorry guys, but it's not going to be fully exposed forever. No branch right here. So, yeah, no. I said there's another boat that has to go in here. I gotta finish this up. I may actually have to take a little break into this because I seriously have to stand up, and my back is hurting and I don't want to cry on camera, and I don't want you guys to have to see that. So let me stand up for a moment. Okay, and I can't pause this video because it's live. It's live. It's live, and there's a reason that, you know, I don't want you guys to have to see certain things, okay? So I'll be right back to the camera. So let me stand up. I'll be right back. Okay. Anyway, I'm back, guy. Also, I had to get my seizure med. Ugh. And get some paint off my hands. I had to stretch for a minute. And kind of cool my arm down. My arm seemed a bit warm for a moment. Sometimes that happens. I hate when this chair does this. My sister, like, let me start using this chair last year, and I repaired a rip in it, and then I repaired the rip in it again. It took a year for it to rip again. So that should say something. Yay! A whole year before it ripped again. Yay. So yeah, this, like I said, that's my second round. And if you guys want to know, these taste horrible. They're horrible, horrible, horrible. So anyway, now that that I have stretched and... Oh, there we go. I also cracked my back. Yay, right? We try to stay positive when I seem like I'm about to like go, right? Back to positive. You guys probably were like, wait, what's wrong? She can have a seizure? Nope. Back to the screen, Bob. Oop, no C's for me. No C's you. No, thank you. No seizures right now, thanks. Back to you, Bob. In the studio today, we painted this. See, I can make fun of my appendages. Don't worry about that. That's how I keep myself going. Make fun of your appendages if you can. That's what keeps you going in life. Like I said, I make fun of my tailbone. It's a pain in the ass. And yeah. What do you think so far, Rock? Branching out? Yeah. You know, like that little tree that's right there, that little thorny tree.
Yeah, it's Jesus tree.
The Jesus, yeah, they call that the Jesus tree. I forgot about that. Yeah, they call it the Jesus tree. That's the thorny Jesus tree. Like Jesus Christ on a Christmas tree. I forgot about that. I did. I forgot. That's the Jesus tree. Jesus, I forgot. See, I can make fun of that. I forgot. Jesus, I forgot. See, and then we just take these out, and these leaves just come out, and that's just your extra little branchies that come on out here. Let's go right back into that color, and then we'll add the little highlights to those afterwards. We'll add highlights. So what do you think about the boat so far? I got most of the dock in there, and look. I even spelled labor. That's actually on there. All of the letters. I'll be able to put you right here. Him. He's the one going on the boat dock. Please inform him that there's a video going on. Yeah, he has to re-inform him. Otherwise, yeah. Jesus Christ on a Christmas tree, Sunday morning came in. I just make up these songs just to get through my day. Hey! And there are the ones that come up from here that really are on this other tree. Just you guys aren't down there with me to be able to see this. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Maybe one of these days I'll just like do a little zoom around. I'm gonna clean this brush and beat the devil out of it. Then I actually will show you that they keep like a little minnow trap, and I'll paint in the minnow trap that they set right here. And oh, you know what I almost forgot? Like their butterfly bush that sits there. I will actually paint that in. That is there, and it's very important because Rocco's Uncle John asked me to put that in. I almost forgot that, and I promised his Uncle John I will paint that in. I did promise that. I will not disappoint the old guy. Now the other branches go off over this way. Because you guys remember I said that there is a tree that goes over this way, and this is actually true. Then we'll kind of darken some of this back up down here, that some of it kind of needed it anyway. And oh my gosh, you know what, guys? We are actually done with almost done with the land portion. And I need to bring a branch back in here. You would be like surprised on how some of the swampy tree areas actually grow. Being truthful. And then I'll add that in there, and then add in my friend and the dog, and like John was actually sitting right here, but I don't know how I'm going to add him in. I really want to add in John. I might actually add him in here with my friend, and some of this color in here. I just kind of feel like it needs it. I really do. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how nice this is turning out. Like, it really is. And like, I've always, like I said, have been told that, like, I will never go anywhere with my art. And I've told you guys before, like, I can bring this to you right here. And you can enjoy it. You can take what I can show you. You can take this, you know, learn it. Never feel that you cannot learn art. Never feel that. If somebody tells you no, tell yourself yes. Yes, you can. Absolutely yes. 2 hares and a scare. And my friend's probably going to tell me dinner, but I know that's not true yet. Not for me. Not yet, Rock. Not yet. Please, not yet. Get that little lighter green in there so that I can do a little highlight around here. Just a little bit. Around the Jesus tree, just around the Jesus tree, and then we want to go back in. He's going to yell to me dinner. I can bring my Banshee. What do you think? Look. Is it looking like the homestead? See, his grandma used to make him go fishing on the old dock. And she'd make him go fishing for his lunch. And he doesn't, well, I can't say he doesn't like eating fish. He'll eat fish on occasion now, as long as we go to Ichiban. Ichiban is a good place to go eat if you live around here. That is a good place to go eat. Yeah, that's the only Chinese restaurant he'll eat fish at. It's the Ichiban. I like it because they have good sushi. And just lightly highlight, just with the edge. Not too many. It's like I said, you don't want to lose your dark. Only hit where the light would hit. Only hit where the light will hit. And like right here, because we have the wood, take this and just drag it down. Drag it down. This is actually going to make like that wood grain. Drag it down. Because your brush is kind of separated at this point. And I'm still going to make that mushroom. You guys probably thought that I forgot about that. Nope, certainly didn't. Certainly did not. I certainly did not forget. Apply there a little more. Clean this brush. Beat the devil out of it. See, still nice and dry. Over here. Let's see, Rocco decided not to interrupt me in the middle of painting. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back into that black, which has a little more green in it now, but I don't really care. It doesn't really matter at this point to me. You know why? It just doesn't matter because I'm not worried about that, because you guys remember I said I would paint that round trap right here. This is a minnow trap. If you guys don't know what a minnow is, it's not from Gilligan's Island. It's not the SS Minnow. A minnow is a fish, and they're these little tiny fish. And you can actually use them for bait. And it just so happens to be that they have a minnow trap. It's like this little basket, right? It has a basket on the inside. It has a basket on the inside for catching these little minnows. I'm not going to go into too much detail on trying to make all these little lines and stuff, because that would just be too much. But pretty much you get the point on the minnow trap. And then I go back in, pick up some white, okay, lay it off over here with the green. I'm going to pick that up, kind of swirl that around in it, so you can just pick that up, pick up a little bit of that cadmium yellow. So I know that was wet earlier because I just freshly put that down. What is going on here today? It's like aliens in a handbasket. I don't know. Okay, and so what we're going to do, we're going to go over here in the water. You're like, wait, in the water? Huh? In the water? What is going on here? Huh? Okay, there's a reason for that, and I will explain it to you. Remember I said the butterfly flowers? This is the explanation for it. It's the butterfly flowers, I promise you. They're off over here. This is where they actually grew. See, I'm not catching their neighbor's property over here. I don't want their neighbor's property. I only want their property. That's it. Only their property. And that is it. Just their property. And that is all I want. Tell you the truth. You see, I can take some of the blue right here. Actually, you know what? Oh, this is today. It's like dry up on you Sunday. I just laid out all these fresh colors. I do not know what's wrong with my colors today. It's a shame. It is quite a shame. Add a little light into that. Violet color. If it doesn't turn the color I want, I can always look for another one of my colors, or I can work with one of my watercolors for it. A lot of people think that you can't put the watercolor in with an acrylic, and that is not true. You can absolutely do that. Absolutely. Absolutely you can. And I do not know where in the art world people got the idea that you cannot use that medium with the other medium. I do not know where in the art world people got that idea. Like, that is like the dumbest idea. So that's something I don't understand. Seriously, something I don't understand in the art world is where people got that idea. The butterfly flowers off over here, close enough to the color that I wanted anyway. That is close enough to the color I wanted anyway, which is kind of almost yeah, there we go. There we go. Make them look like that. You just take your brush and you just go in and you go like this. Go like this. Go like this. And they don't have to be absolutely perfect. You just go in like that. That's all you do. There aren't too many of them. He didn't have too many of them, but they are there. And there was actually a little scraggler. Now that I'm looking at it, there was a little scraggler right there. Right there. Just right there. Don't have too many of them. He did have them. He did, in fact, have them. But they are there, and they are beautiful. they are there. I know we had one right here because you were able to see them. They're sticking out all different directions. Absolutely beautiful flowers. You're able to see them. Absolutely beautiful. And just take in like a little white tone. Mix that back. Give it a little highlight. Do not apologize for my embarrassing over. Upstairs it is absolutely what he's doing. Okay, and then you just add those little highlights in there and then wash your brush and then dry it up a bit and then just take it and you can just take that and pull a little bit on those highlights and just take that. There you go. And see how that kind of separates the ones that look like they're together? Just separates them. And like, I mean, so far, look at this so far. Just looking at this so far. I mean, if I end up getting a viewer watching this live, if you look at this so far, looking at such a detailed painting of a place that actually exists, a place that it really and seriously exists in real life. In real life. It has these little flowers here, the trees that are out like that. It's a place where you just go hang out on somebody's property. I gotta finish the flagpole going up because that really does go all the way up. Then there's like this pole. There's a pole here. No, they're not pole dancers, I promise you. There's like these poles that are out this way. There's one out here. One out here. This is just a great place for their family to go hang out together, you know? It really is. Really and truly is. It's just a fantastic place for their family to be together and hang out together and to spend time together and just be together and not have to worry about what's going on in the world. And you know, they can hop in a boat or two boats and just be together. For the ones of them that, you know, want to be together and spend time together, and let's say, okay, if one of them needs help somewhere else, hop in a boat and go. Boom. There, just like that. Bam. They're right there. Because if they can't make it to you by land, they will make it to you by water. Definitely will make it to you by water. They have no problems doing that. That is a fine family of people that live down there. Well, the old guy, he's pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool, John Labor is. John Labor is a pretty cool old guy. Well, let me get back into finishing this painting. So, okay, well, I might have to put a little more yellow ochre into this because it looks like my yellow ochre had a fit. I gotta buy more paint anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Looks like my yellow ochre had a fit. hard to dry out on. Yeah, just he has this old-fashioned spittoon right here. He actually uses as a thing to keep Irene's water in. Well, he keeps her water jug in there to keep it cold. So when she's outside, Irene's water is kept in the shade by the Jesus tree. So sweet little old Irene has her blessed water over by the Jesus tree. Antique style spittoon. Like I said, you know, that is one of the coolest dogs. Even though she's been through a lot of things, that is one of the coolest dogs. Even though she was used for something abusive. When I first met that dog, she came right to me. She was a little curious. She came right to me. Sweet little thing. Now when she sees me, she just comes running up. Like, hey, I missed you. Where have you been? Now I have food in my hand. She wants to be my bestie. That's true. If you have food in your hand, she wants to be your bestie for the rest of your day. Until you don't have food, and she sticks her nose in the air. Like she just don't care. That's true too. She'll stick her nose in the air like she just don't care. Like I said, that dog is a doll. We have a duck decoy right here. Sticking in the ground. Right there. That is true. It's where the duck decoy is. It's right there. It's all silhouetted. Ducks will actually come up onto their property. You're not freaked out by them at all. Not at all. Ducks are so used to them. It is funny. It's so funny. Like the geese will leave their feathers on their property. It's hilarious. I got a couple of those goose feathers this year. Here's part of their retaining wall. And it's basically wired with brick underneath it. Okay. I think which brush do I actually need next? And take this, and we will go straight. This goes through both oats. Oh, And this is a serious bravery test, my friends. You got to absolutely make sure you have the right brush for that. I know you're thinking, you're just going to go back to that old brush that you keep using, and you're right. You're right. You are absolutely right, but it's your bravery test. You absolutely have to make sure you have the right brush. To be able to do this. Right through them boats. Oh. To be able to do that, you have to make sure you have the right brush. That is like a huge bravery test. You thought making trees was a bravery test. Oh no, doing this is a bravery test. You gotta go through them boats. Oh, look what I did, see? Like right there. Now I gotta fix that. But hey, remember what I said? We'll have a fish splashing, or I just rubbed that off with my finger. Look, let me show you something. You can literally take your finger a little bit wet and just rub that on the canvas. Make sure you don't have paint on your other finger, like I just accidentally did. You can rub that off. Happy accident, you just made an extra shadow. Plus, running just below the American flag, is something else. Don't ask me why, but there is. Do not ask me why, but there is. And I don't know why. It's their property. Okay. Go back in, pick a little something again like that. There we go. That's the one I wanted. And really, don't ask me why, but they actually have. This is going to make you laugh. An evergreen tree right here. You thought there was going to be no evergreen tree today. Well, there's an evergreen right there, my friends. There's an evergreen tree right there. And it's actually in the paint, in the picture. There's actually an evergreen. And it's right here. It's right here, my friends. And it's in the picture. Don't ask me why, it's their house. I'm just doing the painting. I'm just trying to put in the fun parts. Jesus tree and evergreen. Everything else fun at their house. Okay. It's the fun elements, right? It's the fun stuff. It's the fun stuff. If you don't go to somebody's house that's actually the fun one, you might miss out on something. You might actually miss out. Somebody's house that might actually be the fun one. You thought maybe it was dull and it turned out to be fun. Okay. Move on to, like, they actually have this little, I think it's a bug zapper lamp. I'm not too sure, but it's there. It is there, my friends. It is absolutely right here. You're like, oh my God, you are covering up part of that queen. Now there is actually this lamp right here. I'll smooth this part out in a little bit. There is actually this lamp right here. I think my friend didn't realize how long this was going to actually take me to paint. Oh my gosh, these paintings are really tasking and detailed. Oh yeah, paintings like this are tasking and detailed for sure. Tasking and detailed is just like putting it lightly. And I'm being serious on that. That really is putting it lightly. Then when this cures, I'm actually going to surprise my friend's uncle with this painting. I really do want to surprise him with the Darby Creek painting. I think it would be awesome to surprise such a sweet old guy with something like this, you know, because John Labor is a caring old guy. He actually cares about his family. Like, when you care about your family, that's when people will actually care about you. But if you don't give a crap about your family, nobody's going to give a crap about you. And that's when people push you away. Like, you don't give a crap, hey, whatever, you're on your own. You are on your own. Like, look, I'll show you. I'll show you, like, this lamp that's right here. This lamp that I just painted right here. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Like, I'll show you in the picture. You're gonna be like, wow. Ready? 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 And it's right there. It's right there. Right? Like, it's like there, you know, it's there. It's da, and now it's da. Like I said, I'm trying to make this like as close as possible to the actual picture. And I think that my friend's family is just going to be at awe when they get this. I'm going to tell them like that one tree is actually an oops, but oh well. Freaking deal with it. I have to take the fan brush and put in that, actually it's not an oops. I have to add in that mushroom. And yeah, there's that peachy color that I accidentally made that one time. Oh well, it's not there and I don't care. It's not there and I don't care. I think it's make another one. And I have to make that little mushroom that's right here on the tree. It's like right there. And then it kind of pulls down a little. This tree has like this weird mushroom on it. I'm being serious. This tree has a shroom. It's a shroomy tree. Clean my brush. See, like fan brushes, like I'm gonna upgrade on my fan brush here soon. I really am. I'm going to upgrade on my fan brush soon. And what I do with my fave. I'm like, I can take my favorite brush, try that up a bit, and just take this and just pull that down a little bit. Just pull it. Pull it down. That's like your 2 hairs in a scare. That's really what you're doing here. Just take a little bit of that yellow ochre into it. And still, again, 2 hairs in the scare because you really want to pull that down. That mushroom really kind of has kind of like this weird color into it because it's fungi. It's not the fungi at the party, but you know, hey, you get the drift. Okay, now let's go back into putting a little detail into that, is to put some lines into it, because you really got to do that. Some line into it. You see that right there? That just like adds that in, and get that little bit of shade into it. There you go. A little bit of extra texture. Don't have to really like do too much to it. Pull that shade point down right here too. You really don't have to do much to that. Okay. Now, like I said, there is another boat here, right here. And I really do want to exhibit that really is there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be cheerful and really let you guys know that I'm not trying to let like my disabilities get me down. I don't want to let my disabilities get the best of me. I want to take back my life. Yeah, I want to take my life back. That's what I want. I want my life back. So that my disabilities can't have me and I can have my life back. You know what I mean? It's like saying no to letting my disabilities have the best of me. I just want my leg back. Okay, I gotta leave like part of this open for my friend, or actually I can paint him over that canopy. I really can. It's like no big. I can always paint Rocco over a canopy. He's easy to paint over a canopy. Very easy. Okay, and the other boat engine. See, this is a different kind of boat that sits here. So like the canopy sits up here, but the longer half of the boat actually sits back here. So this boat engine is actually black on the one half of it. So that there. And then the longer half of the boat engine is like that. And then, okay. You guys will pretty much get the point here in a moment. These guys are very careful with their engines. They really are. They're very extremely careful with their engines. And actually this boat is more of a high-tech fishing boat. It's one of your more like bass boats, your high-tech let's go bass fishing boats. One of those ones that you always see on one of those fishing channels. Did somebody just come on for a second? Come back if you did. I would appreciate you. If you hear my neighbor upstairs bitching, ignore him. I try to, but he's always like 2 seconds from my face when I try to go upstairs. So paint a little more dark in. Try to put a little more white to that than anything. That shouldn't be that color. I think I know why. Use the burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is more of a blush tone instead of the burnt umber. Burnt umber. Actually, burnt umber is more like this tone of Irene, the sweetest dog in the world that I've been telling you guys about. That is actually the color of Irene. Oh, she does have a little bit of gray on her now. She's aged. She's an aged sweetie pie. Well, this boat kind of sits out in the water a bit, so. Okay, so on to, actually, we'll go on to painting my friend in a minute. We are going to put, and I put red on my palette here, and yellow. What the freak is going on here with my paint today, right guys? Like, paint doesn't want me to paint today because it's paint, and it's like purple because aliens don't wear hats. That's a science joke. It's a science nerdy joke, and if you're like me, you would understand that joke. So, purple because aliens don't wear hats. Yeah. Okay, there's another one off over here, the life preservers, the round one. We keep 2 of them. On the walkway, one of them has their name on it. The other one's red for caution purposes, in case somebody should ever fall in. They do have that. And they're both legal, but one is the older one. This is the much older one. This is the newer one, more issued by the Coast Guard. Yeah. Oh, before I can do that, let me put a little bit more burnt umber and burnt sienna. Let me find my burnt umber here first. Burnt umber. Burnt umber is the darker color. And hopefully my neighbor could be a little bit more quiet during this video, because that is extremely loud. Thank you. Anyway, there's this little bench that sits here. My neighbor doesn't give a shit. Just typical. do just painting. Trust me, if my neighbor would stop breathing, the world would be happier. That came out wrong. Okay, and also a little bit more on about Darby, because we needed that. Sorry for that little outburst there from my person. I am not normally that type of person. Sorry about that. I do apologize. That is just not my way. But I've just about had it up to the sky with my neighbor and his rude babies. Okay, there's also a pole here. This pole, oh my god, I'll have to explain it to you guys. And then there's a pole here. Like I said, my friends that live out here, serious, not pole dancers. They're not crazed people. They just have poles out here to help hold things. Seriously. Just have poles out here to help hold things. Okay, and then there's a fairly special one right here. I'm trying to make as straight as I can. I'm trying to make this one as straight as possible. This one right here is particularly special. Particularly special. Okay, then I'm going to paint on the little thing that's on it before I move on to anything else, because why it's particularly special. Because this pole right here, okay, this particular one right here is the pole that was inside of my friend Rocco's grandmother's house, okay? The original house that was down at Darby Creek. Now, it didn't have the birdhouse on it, okay? That was, you know, this isn't even the original birdhouse. This is a brand new one that was on it. You see, the original birdhouse actually collapsed and fell apart. So they had to put a new one on there. So, like I told John, I was telling Rocco and John, I was like, you know, I want to do a painting, and they were like, what? I want to do a painting. sure you guys have your memories and you're like so excited. I know John was excited more than Rocco. Right there. This pole was inside of the original house that was down there at Darby Creek. Now I have to paint my friend Rocco right here next to it. I really do. What do you think about that? Now, if I had my friend Rocco in here, to look at to look at this and just gaze at it and be like, okay, he'd probably start crying. He probably wouldn't start crying. The little reflector pieces on there. Piece that holds that on. When you do stuff like this, you really have to pay attention to, like, what are you doing? Okay, and then we have to put Rocco in here and do the other little things around here. We might actually call this a finished painting after that. Yeah, we might actually call it a finished painting. And yeah, because this is where he goes fishing. There's actually and I need to do this. I really do. I need to do this part. Do this. Because there is, where's my other filbert? Where's my filbert? Where did anybody see my filbert? There it is. Hey guys, where's my filbert? Why isn't anybody on? Gotta tell me where my filbert is. Hey filbert, where'd you go? Now I know what John's gonna say. He's gonna say that the flags are on the wrong side of the pole. They should actually be flying this way. Yep. They should actually be flying in that direction. Sorry if you guys hear my neighbor's hissy fit in the middle of my video upstairs while he's eating and then cleaning his dishes. Shouldn't be having to hear that. In fact, nobody should be having to hear that. That's rude behavior on his part. Yes, I'm counting these stars. That's 42. 3, and there's only 50 states, by the way. 4.5.6, 47, 48, 49, and by the way, 50. I don't know how people thought that there were 52 states when there's only 50. Unless there's some sort of Mandela effect. We only have 50 states. And always have only had 50 states. An American flag for you, anybody? With 50 stars. Yes, those little dots are 50 stars. Yes. Yes. Okay, now paint in, my friend. Oh yeah, and I did almost forget something. The ropes. Ropes that go with holding this up. Yes, I would say that's lovely. I would say that's some loveliness indeed. You know what though? I think my friend outside is very hungry. So far, I think this is a beautiful painting. What do you guys think? I think you guys tell me later. What do you think of this Labor family portrait? Or, yeah, the Labor family property. And I will add in my friend right here. And probably Irene barking at him. And yes, I will add him in right here because it's where he belongs. Then I'll finish up the poles. I have to get up again and I'm starting to shake again, which means I have to eat. So when I'm finished with this, and I'm going to start another painting anyway, so I will show you guys the finished product. I actually promised you guys that because I think this is turning out wonderful. I don't know about you guys, but I think this has turned out just wonderful. And I think the Labor family is just going to enjoy every little bit of it. You know what, I almost forgot, and I gotta pick up my favorite brush again. There's this little side window on that little birdhouse right here. Add that in. Gotta add that in. And then there's like little things on this that I gotta hang off of it. But you know, I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching me paint this today. I know I'm still adding in like little details while I'm talking to you, but I hope you guys have really enjoyed watching this painting today. And if you have, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment on this lovely painting, because doing stuff like this, if it's something that's reality and not something that is just quick, you know, like the others that you have seen me do. I really gotta eat. That's something from somebody's property, and you know, like I said, not something that I can just throw together or that's, you know, just popped out of the imagination. And you guys really like seeing these. I do plan on doing another real one, and it's Wallowa Lake, Oregon, and that's another place that I have frequented, and it's just so beautiful up there in the mountain country, and I would like to do that and show you guys how just beautiful it could be. We'll do those in seasonal paintings, the fall, winter, spring, and summer. And I think that you guys will absolutely love every view of how Wallowa Lake, Oregon looks. Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce is actually buried in his teepee dwelling above Wallowa Lake, which overlooks Wallowa Lake, and there is a story behind Wallowa Lake, which I will tell you as we do that painting. But I really hope you guys have enjoyed today's painting of Darby Creek, the Labor family property, Darby Creek view. And I will still paint in my friend Rocco here and finish this out. I really have to go because I have to eat something and stop my shakes. And I'll come back and show you guys this. All right? Stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive, and as always, stay blessed. And I will see everybody later. Bye.